Go Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Sure, I'm waiting for Adam to start the show.
Oh, wait. Where's... Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, he's not here.
Where's Adam?
Oh, it's okay. I'll let our guest talk. Oh, it's just us.
What?
Okay.
No Fisher?
On the Steve Dangle podcast today, Jesse Blake and I, Steve Dangle, become friends. Because apparently we're not.
We're not ever going to be.
But I like you, though.
See, feelings aren't mutual.
Wow. You swiped left on our friendship?
I shouldn't go full Stephen A on our friendship.
Wow.
Oh, yeah? You think we're friends?
Oh, listen. Our friendship is not MVP caliber. That Michael Jordan would have never been friends with Steve Dangle.
You do not want to make an enemy out of me, Steve.
Oh, see, I don't know. Are we enemies, though?
No.
Oh, okay, that's good.
We're acquaintances.
Oh.
Who record a podcast together.
That breaks my heart,
That's
man.
so rude. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Talk to me about Game of Thrones, Jesse.
So Game of Thrones last Sunday.
Yes.
Or previous Sunday before that.
Are we going to spoil? I don't want people
amazing
stabbing
episode.
me in the neck.
Spoiler alert. I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay, good.
Steve, do you watch it?
No.
Why?
And I'm a social outcast. You know why? Because I don't like falling behind in shows. And how long is every episode of Game of Thrones?
An hour.
Get out of my face. And it's every week?
Well, there's only 10 episodes.
Come on, man. That's 10 hours of my life.
You sit down and you watch 3 hours of hockey for one Leafs game.
Yeah.
How many? 4 times a week sometimes?
I guess that's
true. You can't spend 1 hour on a television show that's really compelling. That's as compelling as the Leafs were last season.
What sucks is Game of Thrones looks exactly like the kind of show I would love, but I have this weird natural rejection in me of everything that people tell me unanimously across the board. Oh, this is great.
I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones is the best show on TV. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Is it?
What was that movie with the superhero who's kind of like badass? Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, Deadpool.
I can't watch it. I can't go sit down in a theater and watch Deadpool.
I'm going to make a lot of people really upset. I saw Deadpool. It was a very good movie. Glad I paid money for it. It was worth it. How on earth is that like the highest selling movie of all time? How on God's green earth?
I'm glad you're saying
serious?
that. I'm glad you're saying that.
It's good. It's
Okay.
good. It's a good movie. It's worth seeing.
Okay.
But I don't get it.
Everyone who's ever seen it says, "Oh my God, Deadpool is the greatest thing ever," and I can't go sit down and watch it now that you said that.
And there are the hardcore. If Justin Fisher was here, this would have actually been a really good episode.
Does he like Deadpool?
He likes all comic book characters, and so he counts. Mm-hmm. He gets to be like, here's why Deadpool the best, and Nate as well.
Okay.
But
our friend Nate, who, yeah.
Everyone else, I'm like, I didn't know there were enough Deadpool fans. I've been on this planet 28 years. Where were all the people talking about Deadpool?
Yeah.
Where were all the people talking about
Everybody
Deadpool?
hopped on the hype train and is like, Deadpool is this great thing. Everybody go see Deadpool. And I'm like, no, I'm going to sit here and you guys can do your hype thing. I'm actually going to jump into your bandwagon.
I'm going to judge you.
Yeah.
I feel like we're good at judging.
I feel like that's one of my best skills.
It's definitely one of your best skills.
You ever just scroll through Facebook and be like, I can see that person and see right through you.
That's a terrible choice for a profile picture.
How long it take you to take that selfie?
Oh, yeah.
But there's 30 more in your phone.
Who took that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Oh, I can't believe they ended up with that person. See, that's dark.
That relationship will never last.
Oh, that's dark. We're getting there. Yeah. We're at that point on Facebook. We're in the same age group. I don't care what you say.
Or are we?
Yeah, a little bit.
Or am I like a young, spry youngster?
It's going to happen like... How old are you again? 24?
24.
Dude, it's going to be so quick.
Yeah.
So quick. You have 2 years and you're just going to be like that friggin' Mr. Krabs meme. We're just...
Okay,
That's gonna be you in 2 years.
What happened? At what point does SpongeBob just become the place for every meme?
Should World Star Hip Hop just be called SpongeBob.com?
You know?
Everything. Well, I guess it's just that World Star Vine account.
I guess.
Or anyway.
Yeah, the Twitter account that's like what's love behinds and all that. Anyways.
So we're good at judging things.
Yeah.
Should we judge the Leafs and free agency?
We should start with free agency. Adam Wild, I like your transition.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Yay.
That was my shiny teeth.
We're kind of friends now.
Glinting. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay.
So, okay. I made a video about the Matt Martin thing.
Yes.
Made a video. Sorry?
Up at
sportsnet.ca. You should just, Google the Steve Dangle blog and maybe save that and then have a better life as a result. Mm-hmm. So I made something about the Matt Martin thing, made something about the Roman Polak thing. It was like an 11 and a half minute long video. And I still didn't get out all my feelings about it. I still didn't. And Jesse, there's pressure. There's pressure, okay? As, I guess, like I'm part of the blogosphere. Like to the core, like I'll never be totally mainstream accepted, I don't think. You know what I mean?
I disagree.
I think I'm mainstream liked, but that doesn't mean I'm fully accepted. Like I think there are a lot of people in the mainstream who I don't think there's a lot of people in the mainstream who would be like, that's my peer. Totally. They might say like, I work with that guy or I have worked with that guy, but that is my peer. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Can we pause there before we get to Polak and talk about this a little?
Sure. No.
I'm sorry to be so ADD.
I promise this connects.
Okay.
Because I feel like there's pressure in the blogosphere, okay? Mm-hmm. And I've spoken to a lot of people on DMs, and they're not brave enough to do it publicly, and that's okay. Because you get a lot of crap when you say certain things publicly, okay? But I feel like it's a bit of a hive mind on there, and I'm supposed to hate the Martin and Polak signings. I'm supposed to. It's my job. And I don't love them. They're not good deals, but I've tried. I've tried in my heart and in my head to hate them, and I can't, guys. I can't, because I think there's some logic to them. I think there's actually some validity to it.
Okay.
And what has been scary about the whole hive mind thing is the Polak deal much more than the Martin deal. The Martin deal, there's actually some concern. What was it, 2.5 or 2.25?
I'll pull it up. So
it's over $2 million.
Yeah.
Or no, it's 2.5 because it was $10 million. So
there you go.
2.5 for 4 years. That could go sideways in a number of ways. It can go sideways because of the term. It's not like the Leafs have a ton of cap room. They're over the cap right now. That obviously will change with the LTIR and all that. But the Polak deal has been extra freaky for me because we know what's going on, right?
Like same thing that happened this year,
right? Daniel Winnick was traded 129 days ago.
Yeah.
Did it take us that? Polak last year was a $2.75 million cap hit. $3.1 million salary. So his salary was even more than his cap hit. And now he's, I think, 2.25.
2.25.
That was the confusion, okay. Which is still too much, right? But he is a veteran, I guess, right-handed shot, whatever. It's still too much. I wouldn't pay that for Roman Polak. I still don't think Roman Polak's a great defenseman. I didn't think he was a great defenseman on the Leafs. No. I didn't think he was a great defenseman on the Sharks because I saw with my own two eyes that he wasn't a good defenseman with the Sharks. But Frankie Corrado has 67 games NHL experience as a Leafs right-handed shot, okay? Connor Carrick has even less than that. I think it's 56 games experience. Right-handed shot. Nikita Zaitsev has 0 games NHL experience. Those are your 3 Leaf right-handed shots. Oh, and Justin Hall, who they just signed, former second-round pick of the Chicago Blackhawks, played in the AHL last year with the Marlies. They needed another right-handed shot. Mm-hmm. Now, you're all going to yell and scream at me, well, what about James Wisniewski? They could have easily... You're right. I'm not disagreeing with you there. I'm just saying this isn't the worst deal possible. This isn't the worst thing that could have happened.
Okay.
You don't know what James Neal is asking for. Anyway, sorry.
So what are people saying that they don't like about the deal then? If it makes so much sense on the surface, what are the detractors saying?
They hate that it's Polak. You know, they hate that he's making over $2 million, and they hate that he's not a great defender because he's not. He's not. I do know that the Leafs like their disciples, though. They like people who buy in, and I think Polak bought in. That doesn't mean he was great at executing it, but he's a tough guy, a very strong guy, a hardworking guy. And I know that it was a sore spot, at least with the Marlies, that they didn't work hard enough. They were the most talented team in the league, bar none. 114 points in the regular season. Made it all the way to round 3, even though they got stomped in round 3. But it was a bit of a sore spot that some of them didn't work hard enough. And so the Leafs went out and they got a guy who they know worked hard last season. They were able to convince to come back for less money. Mm-hmm. And then they go out and they get Matt Martin, who's a notoriously tough, notoriously hard-hitting guy. The other thing about free agency that bugs me, why didn't X team go out and sign X player?
Yeah.
It's up to the player. Why didn't the Leafs go out and sign James Wisniewski? Maybe James Wisniewski doesn't want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. Why didn't the Habs go out and sign X player? Maybe X player didn't want to sign with the Habs. It was kind of nice of Mark Bergevin to just come out and straight up say, we spoke to certain players and they were like, we will not play in Montreal.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice of them to say that.
4 years for Matt Martin.
Yes.
Too long.
I think so.
I think everybody's agreeing on that point.
I think so. And I'm not sure if I would have preferred Matt Martin for like 2 years at 3, maybe even more than 3, or the 4 and 2.5. I hope it's a Leo Komarov situation. Because that was a terrible contract when it was signed. As a fan of Leo Komarov, it was, hey, Leo Komarov's returning to the Leafs. Yeah! Uncle Leo! 2.9 million for 4 years. Oh, God! Oh, dear Jesus. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And it turned out okay. But now you got 2.
Mm-hmm. This is a career fourth liner as well.
And he's going to be playing the rest of his career with the Leafs. It sounds look, his advanced numbers aren't a catastrophe. They're not good, but he's a good shot suppressor. He lays a ton of hits. Yes, the New York Islanders at the Barclays Center, the people who tally the hits there notoriously over-tally hits.
Really?
Yes. Oh, it's been notorious for years.
Okay.
As if the Islanders' fourth line has like led the league in hits for like 5 or 6 straight years.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Matt Martin's been in like the top 5 last couple of years.
Cal Clutterbuck.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are guys that are tough and lay a lot of hits, but come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Okay.
But if he can suppress shots in a fourth line role, if he can be tough, if he can protect some of the young guys without being a defensive liability, because like with goons, with guys like, I don't know, Jay Rosehill and Fraser McLaren and Colton Orr, the criticism was always, yes, I suppose they are fists.
Okay.
I suppose they could protect Nazem Kadri, but they suck. Like, you could literally just throw a fighter out there, like a UFC fighter, give him skates. Mm-hmm. I look at a guy like Rich Clune, for example, okay? He took his role with the Marlies seriously. He was an offensive contributor, though not a great one. He wasn't too much of a defensive liability. Wasn't a defensive liability at all in most situations. There were a couple times he took penalties he shouldn't have, but he protected the guys. And he pushed them in the weight room. He forced them to work harder. And I know you guys love William Nylander. I love William Nylander too.
We all do.
I know you love, let's rattle off all the prospects, right? There was an error in the Leafs organization that some of them were a little lackadaisical. They didn't work hard enough. I think this is a bit of a message being sent. I don't love the message. I also don't totally disagree with it.
Are we feeling repercussions from the second round loss? Is this all tied into there as well?
Well, it was third.
Oh, third
It was
round.
almost second.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah, because it's the best team in the AHL, and I don't think they should have dropped that series.
No,
On paper, if you look at it.
The Marlies they shouldn't have been this good this season. That's for sure.
Okay.
They were a very young team, and young teams usually aren't that awesome. Mm-hmm. And they were the third best team in the regular season in AHL history.
History.
It's just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. But yeah, they got shoved around a little bit. Maybe it's something from that. I would argue that there were multiple reasons. The goaltending wasn't very good. But yeah, a little, not just body strength, not just getting shoved around in the corners or, guys being nasty and players backing down, like mentally. Like, they let the game get away from them often. Like I would love to know how many times the Marlies allowed a goal and then within 2 minutes allowed another. They let the game get away from them. It might be that. I don't hate this decision by the Leafs organization, but I can't bring myself to hate it and I can't bring myself to love it.
Okay. And then are we seeing a trend with Lou in that he's going with guys he's familiar with? Because Matt Martin played in the same division with Lou for the last how many years?
Interesting. Okay.
And then he sees him every season, this goon come up, and then now he has the opportunity to go out and sign him. Does he say, hey, I know this guy. I know what he can do. I'm going to bring him here. Same with Polak. Had him last year. I'm going to bring him back. Are we seeing a trend here?
That is an interesting thought. That is a very interesting thought. I hadn't thought of that, especially with Martin. Martin, I would have a bit of a hard time believing.
Okay.
Just because I have a hard time picturing Lou Lamoriello in the 6 games per season he sees Matt Martin going, I need that one.
Okay.
I need that guy on my team. Of all the guys you could watch in the Islanders, I need that one. It's entirely possible. With Polak, I mean, you know what's encouraging? I will say this, and it's connected, but it's a little off topic. There is a bit of an encouraging trend in the Leafs organization, and it seems to be players want to play here, which I don't know if that was always the case. Winnick agreed to come back, which I was a little surprised by, frankly. He agreed to come back, even knowing that he could get traded again, and he did. He got traded to a hell of a team, though, Capitals. Polak agreed to come back, knowing full well he's going to get traded by the... But that's another thing. Why are people pretending like Roman Polak won't definitely be traded?
He's a bag of draft picks.
He's a bag of draft picks. We're milking him for draft picks.
Yeah.
Draft pick cow.
New nickname, Roman Polak. Draft pick cow. I hope that catches on.
That's definitely going to stick. There's a visual. But you know why? Lou, there was a story that came out. I can't remember where, but he basically had a conversation with Lou Lamoriello, like, just trade me to a contender, please. He goes to the San Jose Sharks, and they make it all the way to the Stanley Cup final. I would have a good feeling about Lou Lamoriello if I was him. Okay, I'll come back. I'll sign a more tradable contract than before, and unless something happens like the P.A. Parento situation where he gets hurt right by the deadline, there is always that concern. He's going to be more draft picks. Is he going to be 2 seconds again? Probably not. If he's a 4th, yeah, I'll take a 4th. I'll take it. Clune. Last year, the Leafs signed him in the summer. No, they didn't. The Marlies signed him in the summer.
Yes.
You're signed to a Marlies contract, and okay, hey man, sign this contract, and if things work out, if spots open up, we'll sign you to an NHL deal. That's exactly what happened, and he had, I think, 2 or 3 NHL stints. And he even, helped assist on Brendan Leipzig's first career NHL goal. Like, there were some nice moments there. He's a free agent again this year. What do? They convince him to do the same thing. He's with the Marlies now. I think it's fairly obvious that the same thing is going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's been out there or whatever. Colin Smith was not qualified by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Was not qualified. Unrestricted free agent. I think he could have gone to Europe, made a lot of money. He was drafted in the KHL, and then his draft rights were traded in the KHL in a pretty lucrative deal over there. I think he's wanted in Europe. I think he's coveted. The Leafs convinced him to come back on an AHL-only deal, and I wouldn't be shocked to see them give him an NHL deal.
Okay.
Like, I guess I'm kind of getting away from how this pertains to Roman Polak, but
no, because it's a
loyalty.
Change. Yeah, it's a change in culture that they've been looking for the last how many years, how many decades. People actually want to play in Toronto, which is a rare thing.
Now, none of those players I mentioned are superstars.
Yeah,
but it's encouraging. It's encouraging. So a lot of people have this doomsday scenario because the Leafs, in a very short amount of time, the Leafs didn't draft people who a lot of people wanted to draft, and then they go out and they get Martin and Polak. I would also argue this. Thank goodness it was only Martin and Polak. Look at the money spent around the league.
What was the number?
It was over $600 million.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely bonkers.
Which, by the way, is nothing compared to the NBA, which spent $2 billion on their,
we will get to that.
On their July 1st.
Oh my God.
By the way.
Is that next segment?
Yeah.
It could be.
We can fit it. We still got to get to the rest of free agents.
Yeah. How much time do we have in this one?
We got like 5 minutes if you want to wrap it up on the first segment.
5 minutes. Like, that's another example. Lucic.
Yes.
Too
much?
He's a guy the Oilers could really use. He'll be good.
Right next to McDavid.
Right next to McDavid.
Right next to Puljujarvi on the other side.
Sure. Gosh darn, that's a lot of money. Oh my God, for Lucic. And he's going to be old by the end of that deal. Like, a lot of guys were signed who are going to be in the twilight of their career at the end of it. Louis Eriksson. I don't know if I truly hate that deal. 6 times $6 million. He's going to be another guy who's very old at the end of it. But it's the Canucks. What are you? Again, I'm screaming, what are you?
They're going for it.
Oh my God.
They're going to try and just have some playoff dates in their arena so their owner can make some playoff money, get that gate in the door, and then
sell them.
Don't do anything in the future, you know?
I mean, they did exactly what I wanted them to do, which was, if you're going to go for it, friggin', who cares? Just go for it then.
Yeah.
Who cares what the cost is to your organization, which is dear, so dear, just go for it. If you're so hellbent. And they want another big winger.
Yeah, they're still fishing for more things.
How you gonna get that there, Jim? How you gonna get that? You could probably use another defenseman, Hamhuis.
How much do you think Jim Benning was pushing to get Lucic in there as well?
Heavily.
Yeah.
Heavily. Which now my concern is based on that report that he wants another big winger, gladly would have signed Lucic and Eriksson.
Yes.
Oh my God. I just don't know what those teams are. Mm-hmm. Well, the Oilers, I understand why they did it. And at the end of the day, they had a couple-day stretch where they left that stretch with Puljujarvi, Lucic, and Larson, and were without Hall. Lucic, Puljujarvi, Larson for Hall. Now, I know that's not how you're supposed to look at it.
But
a few teams made weird moves where I'm like, you know what? I think they're better now. But they still confused me and kind of screwed up. The Oilers were one. The Montreal Canadiens were another.
Well, we heard last episode about the Canadiens and PK.
And there's another team where, you know what? They actually made a few small signings where I'm like, I don't hate those signings. Radulov, I mean, if he has turned a corner, one of the best talents in hockey. Like, he's fantastic. And it's a 1-year show-me deal.
Yeah, what happened to the reports that he wasn't going to come back?
I don't know. Friedman was tweeting about that. He's like, look, I'm sorry.
Really?
Basically on that. But you know what? With the KHL, the truth doesn't remain the truth for long. Steve, you're getting paid. Oh, you're not getting paid. I remember that.
Okay.
But he's back with the Habs, and I look at some of the additions they made because they were in a buy mode. They still have Shea Weber, who is Shea Weber. They don't have Subban, but, you know, I look at Weber, Radulov, a couple of the small signings. I go, you know what? With the addition of Price, too, back from injury, that could be a playoff team.
They were a playoff team with Price last year.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. They were, you know, one of the hottest teams in the league to start the season anyway.
So,
but still, you traded Subban for Weber. It's not a good deal.
No.
It was a very, very, very confusing few days. And there were, like, even some of the middle of the pack guys, like, I don't even remember where they all ended up. I think Troy Brouwer went to Calgary. That was a lot of money, but I don't hate that deal. Just because I feel like they could use a little bit of veteran presence, too. And he's not a bad player. I don't know if he's that expensive of a player, though. Oh, my God. What did Backus get in Boston?
Oh, hold on.
That was bad. That was a lot of money. Jesse's pulling it all up. There was Backus.
$6 million till 2021.
How old is Backus going to be?
32 right now.
He's 32 now?
Do that math.
They're another team that might as well go for it.
37 when it's over.
Oof.
Yeah, Boston's loading up too.
They might as well.
I think they're in the same situation as Vancouver, where their owner won't accept a season where they don't get playoff dates.
Well, there's that, but also like, I think they had to make a choice. Are we going to trade Chara at the end of his career, or are we just going to run him into the ground? And, Bergeron's kind of in his peak or his prime. Tuukka Rask is in his prime. Even though we're still not a great team, we got to find a way to go for it.
So what's with getting rid of Lucic?
I guess they may be too rich for their blood.
But then you sign Bacchus.
I know.
You give him all this money.
In that case, Jesse, I don't have an answer for you. Okay. I don't get it. Don Sweeney is a very confusing general manager. Like,
yes.
Benning, at least we know what he's doing. Like,
yeah.
Sweeney, he's selling, he's buying, he acquired Martin Jones. Oh, he got rid of Martin Jones. Wow, it was for a first. That's a pretty good haul. Who did he draft with those firsts? And then that's a baffling team.
Yeah.
Baffling team. Oh, I do have to correct myself.
Okay.
I got heated on the PK segment.
Oh, a little heated, Steve.
I got a little heated.
So did you see somebody timed it?
No.
There's somebody on Twitter was like, you went off for, I think it was like 7 minutes or something.
Without a breath,
without anybody else getting a word in. Well, the other person in the room. But yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
I was ripping on the Atlantic Division, which sucks. And I called the Sens a clown car. They have their issues. I'm still not too afraid of them, but I think they could surprise some
They'll
people.
be third after Toronto and Buffalo in a couple of years.
Ooh, an interesting thought.
Yeah.
That's possible. That's possible. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Anderson can do some things.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Franz Nielsen in Detroit
Yes.
was way too much money. And I knew it. I knew it. They freed up all this cap space, and I'm like, this has a bunch of mistakes written all over it.
Is that not the consistent theme throughout all of the deals? A little too much money, maybe one more year too much.
And to stick up for those guys, like those players, that's the unrestricted free agent price. They're not overpaid. They're paid what an unrestricted free agent makes. If you are sought after,
Somebody's going to pay too much.
Someone's going to pay too much.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet you a bunch of teams offered them reasonable contracts, and they lost out to the teams that offered too much. That's how free agency works, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, you know what? $20 million over 4 years is a lot of money. Tell you what, this team offered me 35, and I'm going to go with that.
You know what? Yeah. I'm going to turn down the whole boatload of money. Take the reasonable deal. I'm going to take the one that's my value.
Totally. Unless, then you start getting into like Steven Stamkos, Victor Hedman territory, where they both took haircuts, but are still some of the most highest paid players in the league.
Yeah.
When you get up to that territory, then you start seeing like discounts and stuff. Or Brian Campbell. That was another one. Supposedly, the Panthers offered him 1 year, $5 million. He went to Chicago for 2.
Oh, wow.
Pulled a Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya sort of thing.
Yeah, taking the discount.
Yeah, but with those rare exceptions, because those are the exceptions, if you're a sought-after commodity and you're an unrestricted free agent, guess what? You're getting ready to pay me. Mm-hmm. You are. And you will.
There's no team spending because they thought the salary cap would be a little higher, right? It was known that level won't change. Okay.
No, I think a lot of teams ditched guys. That's the other amazing thing is you didn't see teams shy away from spending. Mm-hmm. You saw them ditch some players, but in preparation for knowing they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
And they're going to go out and sign other guys. Like the Oilers were the Oilers last year still. And they got Lucic, and now they're a little bit cap strapped. A little bit. Like there aren't too many teams with a lot of cap space, and the ones that do don't actually have a lot of money. The Coyotes, the Ducks have an internal cap, the Sens have an internal cap. The biggest anomaly is the Panthers.
Yeah.
They go out and they sign Demers to a boatload of money. Mm-hmm. Reimer to...
Okay. We haven't talked about that, right?
No,
not at all.
Do we have time?
If you want to come back on the next segment, we can.
Let's do that. So we'll come back, finishing up NHL free agency, and then I guess we'll get to NBA free agency after that. I have questions.
Okay.
I have questions, and those questions are coming up on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. This is the Panicle Pizza Steve Dangle podcast.
Rhyme time!
Yay! He is a Florida Panther, James
Yes. Odd deal?
Reimer. No, I like that he took the Tyler Bozak deal.
What does that mean?
Number 42, Tyler Bozak makes 4.2. James Reimer, number 34, makes 3.4. For the next 5 years. I like that. You know that's on purpose.
Yeah, it's 100%.
And knowing James Reimer, they're like, all right, James, we'll offer you 3.5. No. This is more than enough. This will be cool. This will be super cool.
This will be cool.
That was a very odd deal because, okay, it makes sense in that Luongo's supposedly going to miss the first month of the season.
Really?
Surgery. He just got surgery in May. But what about the other 4 years there?
Yeah.
I guess they're anticipating a decline in Luongo.
Do they see this as a goalie tandem from here on out?
Not quite, but I think they would like to lighten Luongo's workload. You know, he went very hard last season and he performed very well. But as a result, you know, he needs surgery. He's getting a little older. I don't think
37.
He's 37 now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's a good signing. That's a very good backup plan. And I like what the Panthers are kind of doing because I haven't really looked at their roster hard, but I think they were signing guys like, well, if one of them gets claimed in the expansion draft, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. It's entirely possible Reimer gets claimed.
Yeah, because you need a player from each team, but you'd think there are other goalies out there that Las Vegas will want.
You never know.
Like if Fleury doesn't get traded.
You never know. Or if he has to be protected, or there's too many. I like the Panthers' approach to the fantasy draft, or maybe I'm completely misreading it. But like too many teams are. I think if you're in the Leafs position, where like all your players are young and you want to protect your young players, that's fine. But I think if players are going to get taken,
yeah,
deal with it. Every team is going to lose one. Like you can't,
at least.
Yeah, you can't completely lose your mind and change your whole organization because you're going to lose one guy. Because everyone's going to lose one guy. Play your cards right. It won't be an amazing guy. But yeah, I mean, he seems like a prime candidate for Vegas.
Okay. That's interesting.
Because I was looking at this year, right? The need for a backup for Luongo. They got one, right? Or, well, not even a backup, a temporary starter. I wonder if they signed him. No, that's a stupid
they
conspiracy
had Red
theory.
O'Bara.
Yeah, well, see, now they got Luongo, Reimer, and Barra. Because I remember looking at that going, Barra's not that great. Is he really going to be Luongo's backup? I don't think that's a great idea. So I wonder if they signed this knowing they needed a starter for the first month. Reimer's probably going to play a chunk of games this season, and he might get taken. Like I think they probably know.
Okay. See, I think they could have gone in a different direction. They could have gone with, hey, we'll trade for one of the goalies that are out there, and then just build for the future. He's 37 and he's injured. How long is Luongo going to be there? Maybe we go after Bishop. We have Bishop. That's our future goalie. Luongo's done after the season.
That's the Tampa Bay Lightning's goalie, though.
Yes, that's true. He's probably not going to go to Florida.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Right? Do you want one of Dallas's goalies? No.
No?
Really? No, you don't want one of Niemi or Lettinen. No. I'll take Reimer over either of those guys.
Okay.
And he's cheaper.
Would you take Fleury?
Yeah, but then you're paying your goalies like $11 million or something like that, and it's Fleury and Luongo. Like, I think the Panthers made the right move in net.
Okay.
They could have gone for a cheaper guy like Enroth or something like that. He's still a free agent.
Yeah.
I'm still going to
not
pound
that
that.
Anymore.
I'm on the Jonas Enroth train.
Who's left? Who needs a goalie?
I mean, Dallas still. They need to get rid of a goalie and then get a goalie. I don't know. Calgary filled their spots. They got Chad Johnson and Brian Elliott. Trying to think of who Edmonton's backup is. Might just be Laurent Brossoit. that's the problem. I think the ship has kind of sailed. Carolina decided to go with Ward and Lack again, bizarrely. Tampa's going to need a goalie when they get rid of Bishop, which sounds like it may actually happen.
Oh, Edmonton's going with Jonas Gustafsson.
They signed Jonas Gustafsson?
Yes.
When did that happen?
1 year, 800,000.
Is this like today?
No, I think a few days ago.
What?
Yeah, he's on their general manager page.
How did I completely miss that?
There you go. The monster is back in Canada.
Whoa.
This was on July 1st.
Wow, I totally missed that.
Gustafsson for $800K.
There was too much. There was just too much.
It was way too much. Over 100 something signings.
Yeah, I was at the gym on July 1st and I got finished right at noon. And I had to drive home. I'm like, I'm just putting my phone away so I don't crash. Like, there's way too much going on.
You were at development camp.
Yes, I was.
How was that?
It was development camp.
Okay.
It seemed pretty obvious what everyone was there for.
Matthews
mania.
Matthews.
There were a ton of media because a lot of them only wanted to go to day one, which was in Toronto. The rest of it's in Niagara Falls.
Oh.
And you could tell the reporters that were going to Niagara Falls because they're like, well, I don't need to wait around for so-and-so, this player, because I'll see them sometime over the next few days. But basically everybody was either writing about Matthews. No, that's it. they were writing about Matthews.
That's it.
So I was at one point, actually for like at least half an hour, the only media member still waiting next to the ice for interviews because I knew I was only going to do the Toronto date. And my mantra was anybody but Matthews. Anybody but Matthews, anybody but Marner. I don't write as fast as everyone else, man. I don't. And I knew we had the podcast today, and I'm like, I don't want to be second or third or ninth or 25th when it comes to Matthews.
Yeah.
So I'll write about someone else. So look for articles on Travis Dermott, Leafs defensive prospect.
He's been in the organization for a little bit now.
He was drafted last year.
Oh, okay. Not that.
Second round.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was very nice to talk to. And Joseph Woll, who is a goalie prospect. See, all the forwards went first.
Yes.
And of course, Matthews is a forward. Marner's a forward. A few people wrote about Jeremy Bracco. There was Adam Brooks. And there were a lot of exciting prospects. Then the defenseman came on. And people just kind of went, nah, we're going to go right.
Oh.
And so I'm standing down there like, well, I could just wait for these guys then.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so weird. I don't know why more people wouldn't take the strategy you did and be like, hey, everybody has this Matthews take. Let me get these other guys.
So I get emails on Sportsnet's traffic, website traffic.
I think the sign was gone.
Well, I used to think the writing about big names thing just because they're big names was BS. No, not at all. Not at all. After the first 2 days, less than 48 hours actually, of Berkshire posting that article he wrote, the Subban trade might be the worst in the Habs history. Less than 48 hours after he wrote that article had enough page views that if each page view was a person, it would have been a top 15 city in Canada.
Holy crap.
And he doesn't get those emails, so I told him, and he was like, what?
Wow.
The traffic that article got was like 5 times what I would expect. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
And that's because you're writing about the biggest thing at the moment, and it's a passionate, well-written article.
Yeah, and I'm very picky. What other angle on Matthews are we possibly going to take? There are so many, and I didn't feel like it. Travis Dermott will probably be an interesting prospect for the organization, and Joseph Woll, we're not going to see until next year's development camp because he's going to go to school.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
So I will write about that little interesting story, little teaser.
Okay.
So Leafs draft Joseph Woll. I think 4th round, and the Leafs throw a huge party. It was a big party at the draft, and it was supposed to be for all their draftees, their family, their friends.
It's like a Playboy Mansion kind of thing.
It sounded like a very big party. And they had 11 draft picks. You know how many draft picks they had that were actually at the draft in Buffalo out of the 11?
3.
2. Matthews, Wool, end of list.
Oh, no. Damn.
So I'm like, was there a lot of leftover food? He's like, yeah, it was like a wedding.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, I mean, development camp, whatever. You get to see the players skate.
Yeah.
It was...
Nothing really interesting.
It was mostly a here's the facilities thing. We'll get some video of you that we can analyze for the development camp, which really starts in Niagara today.
Yeah.
That was all.
Matthews, they roomed him with Timoshov, I think. That's what people were saying.
Yes. His teammate is Dmytro Timoshov, who's apparently starting with the Marlies.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a given.
I didn't know that either.
There are actually a lot of players at the Leafs development camp right now who don't know where they don't know if they're going back to junior or playing with the Marlies.
Marner being one of them.
Marner is junior or the Leafs.
Or NHL, yes.
So he was a really interesting one. He's 163 pounds, Mitch Marner.
That was the quote that's been going around. He wants to put on a couple pounds because I think he needs to.
Well, I mean, my God, his
to
goal
play in the NHL
is to be 170 by camp. That's his goal. It's not even what he currently is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're good, you're good. But
Goudreau's like 150 something, right?
Oh, maximum. That's the other thing with Marner. I look at that and I go, oh my goodness. And then I think, well, okay, most of the league's small players are dirty liars.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how often I'll like stand next to an NHL player and I'll go, yeah? Really?
I can see right over your head.
You're a dirty liar.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, things are kind of thrown off because I'm taller than most people.
That is different.
So if I stand next to most people, I say, I can see right over your head.
It doesn't help that like all the Leafs PR people, they have like 4 of them. They're all like, I think the shortest one is like 6'3".
Okay, so
seriously, the guy for the Marlies is like 6'6", 6'7".
And he stands next to Marner.
Standing
and
next
like,
to Mark Arcabello.
Who's this child? Standing next
Yeah, so it's development camp, not too exciting, but I did get to see Matthews in a Leafs jersey skating around.
With the 64? 63?
Wearing 63. And Marner, So Matthews was wearing 63 instead of 34. Marner was wearing 84 instead of 93. Mm-hmm. Bracco was wearing 60, which can't be his number because no one wears 60 except for like Jose Teodor. I guess on one hand, you could assign Matthews 34, release the Leafs jerseys now, and make several $1 million.
A couple.
Literally the highest selling jersey in the league probably this season. But I guess the organizational mantra is none of those players have made the NHL yet. I don't think any of them have even played an NHL game.
Matthews doesn't have a contract.
Marner does, but he hasn't played an NHL game. A small handful of them have played any AHL games. I get it. Yeah. I disagree because making money is awesome, but I get it.
And people are saying, Laine signed, Puljujärvi signed. Matthews should be signed, but,
they have the whole summer. It doesn't matter.
Just leave it. Just leave it alone. It's not an issue.
There was a big thing on General Manager tweeted it. It was so entry level contracts are bonus laden, right?
Yes.
The maximum entry level deal, which I assume is what Matthews will get, is $925,000. But the cap hit because of bonuses is like 3.75.
Yeah, Chris Johnston wrote an interesting article, and you broke down those cap details, actually. It's up on sportsnet.ca.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So what General Manager tweeted about it was only 2 players in like the last decade or something who were top 4 picks didn't get their Schedule B bonuses, which are, certain bonuses. I'm sure it adds up.
Schedule B bonuses are given for league-wide excellence, such as trophy nominations or finishing among the scoring leaders, making them extremely tough to hit.
Supposedly 2 players haven't hit them.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Larson, Lou Lamoriello draft pick in New Jersey. Mitch Marner, not a Lou Lamoriello draft pick, but he's with Toronto under Lou Lamoriello right now.
So, is Matthews going to get his bonuses?
I mean, it's Lou. No. It's Lou.
Yeah.
No. He'll find a way.
It'll be the first time ever. Because
Is that a first overall pick?
Since it's been 12 years, I think 11 or 12 years since they've had these bonuses in, and all 11 have had max bonuses.
Yeah, because the first overall pick tends to be pretty good.
You know?
I think he'll end up getting it. Maybe that's the holdup, is they have to convince him, look, man, this is the one time you gotta.
Yeah, and the holdover is because if they don't schedule in the bonuses in the cap, they could have some overages for next season.
Yes, the Leafs are in a very interesting cap situation, which a lot of people. Oh, that was another part of my Polak rant. So many people are worried about the cap situation. It's July 4th. Chill.
Yeah.
Give it a second. There's going to be a lot happening between now and the beginning of the season.
We're 4 days past when free agency opened.
Who's looking at the Leafs roster right now and going, done? It's
line combinations. Done. Start pouring them.
Yeah.
Yep. Good.
Got it.
Loophole. First line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, based on money, yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot going on. Look, I'm concerned.
Really?
You ever sit in the passenger seat and you see your friend start to careen into another lane?
And you're like, he's driving. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, they got it. I'm going to be polite. And it's not until the very last minute you go, oh my God. Right now, I'm trusting them to get back into their lane. They're fine.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they were looking at, I don't know, they saw a sign that they liked. Mm-hmm.
Do you often see signs that you like?
Dude, I drive hungry a lot. Imagine you see this gorgeous Panacle pizza sign. And you're just like, that sounds pretty good. And all of a sudden you're in oncoming traffic.
Okay.
So you need to fix that.
Yeah, or Iggy's like screaming in the back and you're like kind of drifting because you're trying to deal with Iggy and you're like, calm down, Iggy.
For some reason, I was picturing Iggy screaming like an angry 8-year-old. Dad! My DS is out of batteries! Or whatever kids play.
How often do you talk to your dog like it's a human?
What? I was talking to the dog is a daily occurrence in our house. And it's me and it's her. It's never only one of us.
Okay.
Yeah, we're brutal.
Okay.
Do we move on to Senor Durant?
Yes, if you'd like.
Because I'm very excited.
Okay. What are your thoughts? Kevin Durant signs with the Golden State Warriors, who were the best regular season team in the history of the National Basketball Association.
And they missed the championship by 4 points.
Yes, and they added one of the greatest pure scorers to ever play basketball to their historically great lineup. Now,
let me throw this out there, because I don't know a lot about basketball.
Okay.
They were talking about, what was the Knicks rumor? It was Dwight Howard,
who went to Atlanta,
and Derrick Rose, right?
Yes, they got Derrick Rose.
Yes.
And they got Joakim Noah.
That's right.
And then Dwight Howard went to Atlanta.
Oh, so he didn't end up... Okay.
No.
So Faisal Kamisa, who we were going to have on the show, we will at some point, he was on with Jeff Blair, and they were talking about the Howard rumor. And he's like, there's only one basketball on the court, right? So with the Warriors, there's only one basketball. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not like you add Kevin Durant and there's an extra 30-something points per game.
Yeah.
There's only one basketball, right?
Yeah. This was the thing everybody says. If there's 10 seconds left in the game, who takes the shot?
Whoever's the most open.
Kevin Durant pass to Steph Curry? Does Steve Kerr drop a play so Kevin Durant's passing the ball to Steph Curry? And then do you have Kevin Durant, who's an MVP, happy that he's passing the ball
to another MVP?
Is that okay? There's one basketball. Who wants the 30 points? Who wants to average the 30, 10, and 8?
Who wants the ring? Like, I think you don't sign with Golden State Warriors because they can pay you the most.
No.
Did they pay him the most?
The most money he could make was re-signing in OKC because you get a Larry Bird deal.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
So I think he's going in with an understanding. Mm-hmm. You know, he's going in... Like, could this team beat the LeBron James Miami Heat? Like from a few years ago? Probably, right?
I think this year's Cleveland Cavaliers could have beat the LeBron James Miami Heat.
Oh, snap.
Because this year's Cleveland Cavaliers beat the best team ever.
That's true.
So
making this year's Cleveland Cavaliers the best team ever. There you go.
Done.
I had one basketball tweet yesterday.
Did you?
Where I can't remember if it was Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless because they're basically the same person. But they were like, Michael Jordan would have never left his team for a superstar team. And I'm like, Michael Jordan left basketball
to go play baseball.
Like, that was ridiculous. And I still had a few people tweeting like, well, you know, he just wanted to challenge himself. I'm like, no.
He left after he won 3 rings. What are your thoughts on people saying Kevin Durant's just going to chase the ring and he shouldn't be allowed to do this and he's going to form a superstar team? Like all the hate LeBron received when he went to Miami, now all the hate's going to Kevin Durant.
History just happens over and over and over again. The world is one giant stage and the only play is Groundhog Day. Which is a play now.
Is it?
It's a play now.
Is it on Broadway?
No, I made it up in my head.
Oh, well, fine.
But it's amazing how we just recycle things every few years. Mm-hmm. Every few years. Like, and the fans are doing the same things. They're burning their jerseys. I saw some fans shooting their jerseys with like semi-automatic
Who gave
guns.
that person a gun?
America.
Happy
America Day to all of you, by the way.
Yesterday, yes.
You maniacs. Oh, was it yesterday?
Yeah, July 4th yesterday.
Oh, so sorry. Today's July 5th. I've been screaming it's July 4th all
You
episode.
did it a couple of times, though.
Sorry, the drive-in flustered me. But, I mean, he's going to win a ring. Mm-hmm. Someone try to beat him.
Okay.
Go ahead. I mean, did anyone think that the Warriors were going to be beaten this year?
No.
And they were. So the exciting thing, it's funny, basketball is really making me rethink this whole parody thing because I will watch Warriors games if they're just on TV to see if someone beats them. Mm-hmm. One of the most, if not the most iconic wins in Raptors history was a meaningless regular season game where they beat the Michael Jordan Bulls
in the Rogers Center in front of 40,000 people
because no one expected them to.
No,
that's it. That's it.
Yeah. My argument is always, what do you remember in sports? You remember the champions. You remember the dynasties. The most interesting thing in the National Football League is the New England Patriots because they're the biggest. They've had a dynasty for the last 15 years, and nobody can do that.
You need to be next level to finish second and be remembered. And there's only 2 that I think we're ever going to remember, and one's in recent memory, so we might forget it. One, the Patriots team who lost to the Giants because they weren't supposed to. 2, this year's Warriors losing to the Cavs because of the 3-1, because of the record, because of a lot of things.
Because of 3-1 versus Golden State in the Western Conference Finals, everything.
Like the Leafs coming back and winning 4 straight to win the Stanley Cup in 1942. I'm not even sure who they beat to do that. I think it was Detroit.
One of 4 other teams, right?
One of 5 other teams.
5 other teams, yeah.
Exactly. During the middle of the Second World War.
Yeah.
Way back when.
What do you know about baseball? The evil bad Yankees.
And that one time the Marlins beat them.
You know? I've never understood the argument for parity in sports. Because dynasties drive revenue.
I understood it.
People tune into games like you're a casual basketball fan.
Yeah,
you'll tune into a game if Steph Curry's going off on the greatest regular season team of NBA history.
I think I'm going to come up with a term. I'm an elevated casual fan.
Yeah,
like because I watched the Raptors run and then I kept watching. Mm-hmm. Like, does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was really invested
because you're a
in that.
Deep sports fan, right?
That's true, too.
Yeah.
That's true, too. I always look at things where in sports where I'm like, if I'm not interested, this thing's in trouble. Because, like, I'm top 1% of sports fans, I think.
Yeah.
Like, when it comes to obsession, I'm not good at anything else.
No, you made your life around it, so it's going pretty well for you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Thank goodness. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the champions. And one of the best things about the Miami Heat a few years ago was watching other teams try to beat them.
Not 1.
A few of them did.
Not 2. Not 3. Not 4. Not 5. But 6. Dynasty. They went to, what's LeBron at? 6 straight finals? I believe so.
Is it consecutive?
6 straight consecutive finals.
Was it Cavs? Heat, Cavs.
Yes. Yes. It's stupid.
And he's only won 3 of them.
It's stupid. And then he went to one early in his career with Shaq and no one with the Cavs, and he lost there and he got swept.
Wait, so he's been to 7?
Yeah, he's been to 7, and he's 3-4, I believe.
That's disgusting. Still a losing record in the final.
Like if you go back, every NBA final has featured LeBron James. You know,
and that's what we'll remember.
Exactly.
And
we remember MJ.
You remember MJ? Dude, MJ was so good, we remember the players who played with MJ.
Yeah, you shouldn't know Dennis Rodman at this point.
Like Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Steve Kerr, Tony Kukoc? Was he a Bull
is that
for a while?
Yeah,
Or am I thinking of someone else?
No, I think you got that.
Yeah.
I think those are the names we know.
Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting. That's when I was like at my neighbor's house playing like NBA 2K, made my own creative character. My buddy would never play me because he thought I was funny. He was older. It's just, I can't hate the guy because he took less money and it's a business. It's a business. These teams will trade you like you're nothing.
Yeah. I think it was Deadspin today. They wrote an article about it, and they said replace all the team every time somebody writes team in an article with workplace, and just think about your job. If you got offered a better job at a better company, a company that was making more money, a company that was winning in terms of teams, winning more, and they said, hey, come work for us and you'll have more fun here and you'll be more successful in your career, would you not take that job immediately?
No, because I'm unhappy at my job. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a bunch of gasoline on this jersey, take it to the lake, and shoot it with all my friends.
Exactly.
By the way, you can afford guns.
So
it was the way they're treating him in Oklahoma.
You can't hate on Kevin Durant for
friggin', you know what I mean?
Okay, so yeah,
okay,
you can't hate on him for going to a better place and wanting to win.
No.
That's the point of it.
But here's the thing, Jesse. Yes, you absolutely can. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. But including Durant, but when contract offers are made in basketball, does the Dr. Evil music just play after every number is said?
Okay, what?
What's the cap hit in basketball right now?
Like the cap number?
Yeah.
I think it's 92 million.
Didn't it go up by like 16 million or something?
Yeah, it went up, I think, 30%. And next year.
In 1 year?
Yes. And next, because they signed a massive new TV deal. And then there's a whole bunch of new revenue sharing. And then, like, the LA Clippers sold to, after Donald Sterling drama, they sold for $2 billion.
Oh my God. That's 2 Leafs.
Exactly. So the money in the NBA is ridiculous. And next year, the cap's going up. Again to I think 130 they're projecting. Oh, so you're just getting dumb money.
Bismack Biyombo,
a man who should not be making the money he makes,
is making. Let me think about this. He's making, I think, about $9 million more per year than Sidney Crosby. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure. I think if you tack on Sidney Crosby's endorsements, it still wouldn't add up to Biyombo's salary in Orlando. Or who are the other big guys? That was the scary thing for me when players whose names I didn't even really recognize started getting like 15 million plus.
Mozgov,
who I've heard of, and that's it.
On the Cavs, who played a total of 16 minutes in the entire NBA Finals on a team that won the championship. He averaged 6 points in the regular season.
That's pretty good.
I think he's making $70 million.
That's so ridiculous. So is this because basketball's doing so awesome or because they're definitely going into a lockout?
I don't think they're going to go into a lockout. I think there's a lot of money running around in basketball. And I think the American sports market is just so much greater than what the NHL is doing. Like if you look at the NFL, if you look at baseball, there are guys, Miguel Cabrera's total contract, he could buy 1/3 of the Detroit Tigers. Yeah. No big deal. His contract's like $300 million, and I think the team's worth $900 million.
Wow.
If you look at the money in American sports, it's getting a little absurd. This is the bubble. I don't know if it's ever going to burst because live sports is such a great revenue generator, but there's a lot of money in there right now.
Well, I think it's starting to get to the point where you can't go to a sporting event.
You think so? Yeah.
Like it was so funny when like listening to Pittsburgh Penguins fans talk when I was there, just talking about going to the Stanley Cup final. Mm-hmm. That's not a thing. If the Leafs made it to the final, that's not a conversation that would be had. It'd be like, hey, did you find a way to get tickets? Mm-hmm. And the answer would probably be no.
Even here for the Raptors games were absurd for the nosebleed. Yeah, the camera bed. We got to wrap it up here on the fan. Actually.
Oh shoot,
we can come back after we leave the fan and talk about this a little more if you want.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, we're a little over time.
Oh my goodness. Well, okay. Tell you what, if you are listening on the radio, if you are someone who discovered the show on the radio, and I think you're in the minority, but if you're someone who discovered the show on the radio, check us out. Sportsnet.ca on the Steve Dangle blog. My name is Steve Dangle. I've been talking to Jesse Blake this entire time. Our good buddy Adam Wilde is in Europe getting engaged and stuff. And we'll see you later. We've been brought to you by Panico Pizza. It's what's on the inside that counts. Holy fuck! People are making money!
You couldn't get a Raptors ticket this playoff run.
To finish that thought, like just hearing fans casually talk about going to a playoff game, not just a playoff game, a final game. I'm like, oh, you live somewhere different.
Yeah.
You don't realize how neat this is.
If you don't mind me asking.
Yes.
Or if Mike Durant doesn't mind me asking, how much was your ticket down in Pittsburgh?
Oh, well, I didn't pay for it, but I think it was around the $200 range.
Okay.
Which are like platinums in the regular season when the Leafs play like the Blue Jackets. No offense, Blue Jackets.
A ticket, okay. I assume they'll open up standing room tickets once the Leafs make playoffs because they did that for the Raptors.
Dude, they did that for the Marlies.
Yeah. What is a Stanley Cup final game with the Leafs and Kings, let's say, going to cost for standing room?
Let me tell you. You're paying $30 to stand in Maple Leaf Square and watch on the screen. Okay?
That's outside.
That's outside the fucking building. Probably, I bet MLSE would be like, no, we would never charge for that. My foot! There are 30,000 people trying to watch the thing on the screen outside. Mm-hmm. You're charging. Mm-hmm. At some point, you're charging. To sit in the nosebleeds that are like a color I don't even know, like purple or something, like obstructed view, you might get for $200.
You think?
Like you think that much or that little?
That little.
Oh, yeah. No, that's obstructed view. Everything else,
I think.
No, you're right. You know what? You're right.
Somebody to say I'm in the building for the Leafs Stanley Cup final game.
Minimum $500. $500.
Because like I would consider dropping $200 just to be like I was there. But I think there's a lot of people who would say, yeah, I'll drop $200, and that lot of people is going to drive that price up.
Would I drop a mortgage payment? Would I? Because like it's one mortgage payment. That mortgage is still going to be there after the Cup final's done. My God! Yeah.
How much would you pay? Do you have a limit? Would you pay $1,000?
It's complicated for me because, well, okay. One, I work for a sports outlet, so I would try to get credentials. Yes. But that would be the most attended Cup final ever in terms of coverage. So odds are I'm so far down the Sportsnet totem pole, I wouldn't get it.
You never know.
Yeah, I'd pay $1,000.
Really?
Yeah, I'd pay $1,000.
Mr. I don't pay for anything in my entire life.
And now I'm using those savings to buy a ticket to the Stanley Cup final.
All those Nike shirts, they're going to pay off.
There you go. Maybe I could even Kijiji some of them. Steve Dangle is sweating these shirts.
So that becomes $2,000 when you take Mrs. Dangle.
Oh, how's she getting in? How's she getting in?
Your money, Steve.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I guess it would.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like a flight. That's like a return flight to like somewhere really fancy. That's like, oh, my God. And by the way, those are shitty seats.
Oh, that's yeah.
Those are shitty
No,
seats.
you're not even coming close to the ice.
Oh my God.
Nylander's gonna be down there and be like, "Is that him? I can kind of see his jersey."
Bring binoculars. Forget them at home. Have to buy $50 binoculars from the vendor.
Sometimes it makes me emotional when I think about it. What it would be like to see a Leafs team that was really good and in the Cup final.
You ever just think about it like something you know will never happen? Just like, you just dream about it. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. And then you go back to your life. And then you go back to whatever you were doing. And then you go back to traffic in Whitby before you get to traffic in Scarborough.
Do you want to talk about your commute
downtown? No, I don't.
Okay, I don't want to bring down the
Good.
mood.
No, because I realize it's not interesting.
How
many times can I be like, I was bad?
You should live downtown, Steve.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This Saturday, UFC 200.
Oh,
I'm going to bring up the card here. If you want.
it's very frustrating for me. It's a very stressful time because Wayne Simmons has a charity ball hockey game that day, and I want to go to that and get some interviews. But it's also the day of the Durham Craft Beer Festival, which is one of my favorite days of the year because it's an event that's actually near my house, actually in my neighborhood roughly, and there's beer there, and it's really good beer. But it's also UFC 200.
Yes.
And my buddy Nate wants to host a thing at Yonge and Eglinton, which is not near Oshawa at all.
But all these things could be wrapped up before 10 p.m., right?
Is that when the card starts?
Well,
I don't even want to miss the undercard.
No, the undercard is so good.
Do you have the card in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God. Okay, so all UFC fans, I'm sorry. Don't worry. We'll bring up interesting stuff later. I have some fireworks stories I want to bring up.
Diego Sanchez and Joe Lozon are on the prelims.
That's probably like the co-main event or like second or third fight down on most cards.
You know?
And that's a prelim fight.
Co-main event on most nights.
That's so ridiculous. And there's guaranteed blood because Lozon.
Sage Northcutt's fighting in the prelims on Fox Sports 1. That was the prelims, by the way. That's a Fight Pass prelims.
Wow, that's smart though.
Yeah.
Because I think they think the future is in Sage Northcutt. Mm-hmm. How old is he? 20?
Oh, he's young and he's very handsome.
Very handsome. I mean, for now.
He looks like before he gets his face cut in. He's like Captain America in real life.
Yes.
Yes.
Having him for free, you never know. Some people might buy the fights who weren't going to.
All right.
And get into UFC.
Johnny Hendricks is fighting on the prelims.
That's the first fight of the prelims. Johnny Hendricks.
Then we can move on to.
Didn't Adam just interview him? I think he did.
Did he?
It's Big Rig, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam just spoke to him.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then we have if we go to the main card, we got Cain Velasquez and Travis Brown, which could be headlining anything.
I think, you know what? That's a big break for Travis Brown, I think. He's also going to get stomped. But
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think... Because Kane's probably going to...
Kane's missed a lot of time, though.
So has Travis. Because he's been doing other ventures as well, right?
That's true. I bet Kane stomps him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Jose Aldo, Frankie Edgar.
That's like a premium headline fight.
Yes.
That's like, you see some UFCs, some headlines, you go, I could miss that one.
Yeah.
This is one of those can't miss headlines, and it's not the headline.
Aldo fighting anytime is a must watch.
Even Edgar, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not the same name as Aldo, but like that's going to be a very good fight.
Edgar's getting up there in age as well.
Yeah.
And then your third fight down is Misha Tate and Amanda Nunes.
That's Misha Tate's first title defense in the UFC. Unbelievable.
I'm surprised they didn't go with the rematch.
Tate Holm?
Versus Holly, yeah.
I'm wondering what the thought process is there.
Is it too soon?
Well, because do you just limit the women's division to 3 fighters?
Yeah.
Because that's basically what it is. There's Rousey, who we don't know when we're ever going to hear from her again.
We don't know if she's going to just turn
Or
into a movie
if.
star, yeah.
When you think about it, you want to take traumatic blows to the head, or you want to make millions of dollars doing something else?
Yeah.
You should probably do that. As a sport fan, I want her to continue fighting. But
That's a good point.
logically, fighting is never a good idea.
No, just as a career in general, probably not.
Unless you're really good at it. That's
Even then.
even then, still not a great idea to do it for long.
No.
So yeah, it's her, Tate, and Holm. Mm-hmm. They're just going to be the Kopitar, Taves, Bergeron, Selke Trophy race,
and then Cyborg if Cyborg ever comes down to the weight class. I don't know if
they'll ever let her.
No,
dude. Okay, people were. Did you? Oh yeah, we watched that fight together. Her first fight.
Yes, we did.
That was an appropriate stoppage, right?
Oh, 100%. She was going to kill the girl.
So many people were like, "Oh man, early stop it." Okay, she was a little bit dead.
Yeah.
If they stopped it like regular stoppage, she would have been regular dead. Like that's
it was done.
That woman, I don't even remember her name, but like tough as nails for wanting to continue, but she was going to get killed.
Also, I don't want to bring this up, but Cyborg's probably had a few steroids in her body in her day.
UFC is interesting because I feel like they're all on steroids.
At one point or currently? Like, I don't think McGregor's roiding up right now or anything like that.
Wasn't there some shenanigans with Lesnar where he is not technically on them now?
Yes. So,
but he... Yeah, sorry.
So they're since the deal was done so late, you're supposed to be tested it might be 6 months or a year.
I think it's 4 months.
4 months prior to your fight.
Yeah.
Since Lesnar's just coming in all loosey-goosey, they're like, hey, we'll waive that for you. So we'll start testing you after we sign this contract. Not the 4 months prior.
Like a month.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's so ridiculous. Oh yeah, so you had a quote from Lesnar that made you think he was going to win.
Yeah, so...
Because I think Hunt's going to win. I'll take that money.
They asked him to like contextualize his fight, and he said, I can swear here, it's radio portion, non-radio portion. He said, I don't really give a shit. I don't sit up at night and wonder, is my drawing power going to hurt? Or are my WWE fans going to tune in and watch me do this? I don't give two shits about that. This is about me. I want to get in there and be an athlete again. That's what it's about. So that was his comment on his WWE marketability. And I think that's a sign that, hey,
he's like, this isn't a one-off.
This is fucking serious for Lesnar. This isn't a joke anymore.
He's going to keep doing it.
I think so. Because he's saying straight up, he doesn't give a shit about the WWE. He doesn't care if he doesn't go back. This is his game right now.
The heavyweight division is in deep shit. If that's the case.
He might kick Mark Hunt's ass, you know? Maybe I'm looking into one quote too much, you know?
See, okay, Mark Hunt's punching power is no joke. And Lesnar is known for not being able to really take a punch in training. He doesn't like it. Like, I mean, not that anyone does, but he gets frustrated.
Interesting.
I heard that on, I think it was Fighter and the Kid with Brandon Shaw.
Yeah. Great podcast.
Great podcast if you like UFC. If you don't like getting punched and you're in there with Mark Hunt, I think you're going to have a bad time.
I think it's going to be a bad time.
It's going to be a bad time. I watched that episode yesterday for some reason. If Lesnar can draw it out, make it about conditioning, then maybe Mark Hunt has a bad time. If he takes Mark Hunt to the ground, Mark Hunt is going to have a bad time.
Lesnar's forearms will swallow him whole.
And that's Mark Hunt!
Yeah!
That's a very interesting fight. That's fascinating. And we haven't even gotten...
That's not even it! Okay.
That's the best card ever now.
Who you got?
Oh.
John Jones.
Oh.
Daniel Cormier.
I don't think you can miss as much time as John Jones has.
Don't say it.
I don't want to. I don't want to say it, man. Who did Cormier fight last? I'm trying to remember. See, you don't even know. Oh, fuck.
I don't know off the top of my head now.
Because that St. Preux guy, or Pro, Jones didn't really kick his ass. That wasn't an overly convincing fight, man. And that should have been easier than it was.
I don't have his last fight here.
And he also didn't beat the shit out of Cormier last time,
Alexander Gustafsson.
I mean, that's a good win.
Yeah. That was his title defense. Yeah.
Damn.
5-round decision. It was a split decision.
Well, that's not a good win then.
Yeah.
I think Jones' decision.
Jones, okay.
Because you made me use my brain.
I'm going with John Jones in a knockout.
You think? I don't think this fight gets finished.
No?
No. I feel like they're both tough.
I think Jones has too much to prove.
To get knocked out? He won't let himself get knocked out?
And I think he wants to put on a show. To be like, I'm fucking back. I'm John Jones.
See, but it's fighting though. If
Yeah.
he makes a mistake.
Yeah, it's fighting. That's so true.
Fighters who put on a show get fucked up.
That's Rousey. I'm going to stand up with home.
Well, see, I remember, I don't remember who I heard say it. It was obviously one of Brendan Schaub or Joe Rogan. Basically, she got tagged very early in the fight and basically just fight plan out the window. Like, I don't think it was a matter of she was trying to stand up with Holly Holm.
Yeah.
It was just she kind of did.
Okay.
That was about it.
And went running at her by the end of the fight.
Because she had no... That was sad.
Yeah.
That was... It was also kind of cool. It opened the division right up.
It was seeing somebody who was superhuman get brought back down to earth.
I was screaming about it with Sasky one day, who is an, unbeknownst to me, UFC fan.
Is she a UFC fan?
A little bit.
We should start a little UFC thing.
We should. Okay, well, we were yelling about, like, okay, let's assume she beats Holly Holm, okay?
Okay.
What are we waiting on? We're waiting on what? We're waiting on either Rousey Tate 3, that at that point we assume she wins, because remember, she hasn't suffered a knockout at that point. Rousey Zingano 2? Maybe? Or a super fight Rousey Cyborg, and she retires. Like, that's what we were looking at. So
this makes things a lot more interesting.
Makes it a lot more interesting. It makes it sad if she leaves.
Yeah.
That'll suck.
Yeah.
That'll suck. What a run.
You have fireworks stories before we have to wrap things up.
Yes! America Day and Canada Day have both passed.
America Day.
But I just saw some things and I thought you would like these stories. I don't know if I've ever told them.
Okay.
Please stop me if I have.
Okay.
Let's go to, I've been dating SL for like 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay. We're traveling back in time.
No, it's about a month. It's Victoria Day in Canada. So what's that in the States? Veterans Day? Memorial Day?
Yes. One or the other. Something.
One of those ones.
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
One of those ones. I think it's Memorial Day. I don't know. And we're firing off fireworks in a park nearby where I live in Scarborough. Had to burp. And so a few of my friends were arriving late because some of us partook in some of that underage drinking at the time. I was 19. I had just turned 19, but a few of my friends, not so much. So they had partook. So we're like close to running out of fireworks before they arrive. Okay. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We got to still have fireworks going on when these guys get here. So we go across the street. For those of you who can picture the neighborhood, we go to Sugar Plaza in East Scarborough. We went to the Sugar convenience store to buy fireworks, and I bought $30 worth of fireworks. When I was 19, that was so much money.
That's your life savings.
Life savings! And for some reason, the only people that went to the store were me and my friend's little sister. Not all my buddies who were over in the park, which would have been great.
Yeah.
It was just me and my friend's little sister. And we're just talking. I go to buy the fireworks and we go to walk back. And if you can picture the neighborhood, if you're from there, go walking by the KFC. I'm trying to paint a picture here, okay? So we're walking out of the plaza. There's a KFC at the end of it, and it's dark because it's night. And behind me, as I'm holding my little my little plastic bag of fireworks, I just hear drop it. And I go, that's not good. I turn around, there's 20 dudes with bandanas covering their face.
This is a movie. What?
This is in East Scarborough. East Scarborough. It made the news. It made the news. Drop it. And I had never been mugged before, so I just I looked at them all and I was like, so I'm eyeing them up and down, right? And even though they're wearing bandanas, I'm looking at a few of them like, you I went to high school with you, asshole. I graduated less than a year ago.
You're not some tough mugger.
And they were like 16. Because I was like, okay, what grade were they? And that's why I wasn't that scared, because I'm like, okay, I know there's like 20 of you, but like you're 16. Like, you guys are idiots. I know who you are. Fuck off. So fuck off. No, I didn't say any of those things. What I instead said was, and I don't know why this was what I decided to come up with. I just went, no. And so I turned around and I just kept walking. I'm right by the road. I'm right by Lawrence Road. Mm-hmm. So like, well visible. So I'm like, I'm probably fine, right? All of a sudden behind me, I hear, I'm like, oh, what the fuck is that? That one of these motherfuckers runs out of their pack with a Roman candle lit. And he just starts lighting me the fuck up. No. Just shooting at me to get me to drop the fireworks. Because
Are you running at this point?
Well, I'm trying to dodge. Like I'm not standing still.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. My instincts just kicked in, and I tried to punch the guy. I ran at the guy, and he goes, "Are you stupid?" And I was trying to punch the guy, and I'm getting close to him, but like, I mean, he's obviously trying to dodge me now too. He's holding it in his right hand, just fucking clobbers me right on my left temple.
Oh no.
So close to my eye. It singed my eyebrows. It singed my hair. I had like a
Oh God.
I went and got my haircut 2 weeks later, and like mid haircut, the guy's like, "What the fuck happened to your head, man?" At Jingles, by the way, if you're from the neighborhood. He's like, "What the fuck happened to your head?" I'm like, oh yeah, about that. Yeah. So at that, after that, I turned around.
So you're fighting off a guy with a Roman candle.
So stupid.
With a bag of fireworks in your hand.
So stupid. And well, it's not like they were lit.
But imagine he goes for your fireworks. Oh, fuck. And he lights them and you explode and you catch on fire. It's a whole different story.
Wow, I hadn't actually thought of that angle.
That was the first thing that came to my mind when you said somebody lit something. I'm like, is he going to go for your fireworks?
Shit, I didn't even think of that.
That's death.
Fuck, I didn't even, that was, wow, that would have been real bad.
You lose a hand there. Anyways.
Yeah, maybe, anyway. So, lights me up, and I know there's only like a certain amount of rounds in a Roman candle, so I turn around, so 2 or 3 into my back, and then all of a sudden all that stops. And I don't know why I did this, but it was one of the most badass moments of my life. So I have my back to them. I'm the most hopping mad I've ever fucking been. My jacket is literally smoking and on fire. And I just turned around and went, "Motherfuckers, get the fuck out!" And like I just screamed at them as loud as I could, and they took off.
Oh wow!
They took off.
That's that bear thing where it's like, look larger than the bear.
Like, oh yeah! I was so mad,
Oh my God!
And I went back across the road, and they're like, "Hey, we heard you screaming. What happened there?" I was like, "You didn't fucking see that! You didn't fucking see the fireworks!
Oh wow,
dicks!" So I go home that night, and my dad gets up early for work. So I'm like, okay, this is bad news. So I just write a note, and I leave it in the bathroom because obviously he's going to go there first. I just go, "Wake me up before you go to work. I have something to tell you."
Wake me up before you go. Sorry.
And I think I left my jacket in the bathroom too, which at this point is just a zipper. Like,
because it's been burned to smithereens.
It's been burned. And the reason I did that, by the way, guys, and I think a lot of people listening will sympathize, I just wanted to go to bed. And if my dad found out, it would have been us driving around the neighborhood with baseball bats and hockey, literally baseball bats and hockey sticks. Trying to
I know that feeling, yeah.
And I'm just like, no, thanks. But anyway, so we get up early and we see the story on, I think it was on City TV, about these kids having Roman candle wars with each other. And I thought it was them, but it was in a different neighborhood of Scarborough, further west. And so we emailed them and I go, hey, I sent them like pictures of my face, my jacket. I go, yeah, these guys tried to mug me with fireworks. And so they actually came and I was on the news.
Oh, wow.
In late May 2007. I think you can still find the story.
Okay.
But I can't find the video. And the interview was so stupid. I was like, fireworks are fun. Stupid people aren't.
PSA from Steve Glenn.
2 years later, 2 or 3 years later, I'm walking with my buddy down the street.
Same street?
No. This is like Metavale or something like that. We're going home from Amigos, which is the bar that we basically kept open while we were in university. Mm-hmm. And this car rolls up next to us. The windows roll down. We see hands stick out of the window, and I'm like, yo, this is bad.
They're about to light you up.
Funny you should say that, Jesse, because here's what we hear. Get lit up!
You're in a Biggie drive-thru.
Fucking 2 guys, they lit us up with Roman candles. They did a Roman candle drive-by. Again, burned my foot, burned my butt. Like, fuck, they hurt, man.
Oh, yeah, it's fire.
You been hit with a Roman candle?
No, but it's fire.
It's fire. It is fire. It hurts. It hurts. The impact doesn't hurt. The burning hurts. Yeah. So we got lit up. we got fucking drive-by.
You were in a drive-by like Tupac.
Yeah. And well, and that's how I describe the part of Scarborough.
In the studio. Biggie. Sorry. I had to get that right.
That's how I describe the part of Scarborough I grew up in. It was rough enough that I was involved in a mugging and a drive-by. It's nice enough that they were fireworks. And not guns.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. So anyway.
Fuck, man.
My buddy who I was with, who we got lit up together. Which
could mean a whole different thing.
I know you gotta go to work. I'll try to be quicker with these. But his dad was a cop.
Okay.
But this was during G20. So his dad is overwrought.
So this isn't that long ago. If it's 2 years after, G20 wasn't like too long. Yeah.
No. And so the cops, they basically don't let them sleep during events like those, which is not a good way to run things, I don't think. Because I feel like you want cops to be...
It's like doctors when they run them on like 3-hour shifts in the emergency room.
Yeah, I kind of want my doctors to be well rested.
Yeah.
So anyway, we call him up like drunk, telling him what happened. I don't know why we did that.
Because you're drunk.
I think, we wanted a ride home, I think. We weren't even that far
call
away.
My dad.
It was the stupidest thing. But we're like, fuck, man, my foot. So anyway, he just tears a strip off my friend. Basically, because he's like, these are like the 4 hours I get to sleep and you call me with this shit? And we were like, oh, okay. Sorry. Hung up. So we called the non-emergency line for the police. So we got a ride home in the back of a cop car. But really? But I was such an idiot that I was putting my hands behind my back on purpose in the back of a cop car to see what it was like. And I'm like, man, this is like not comfortable at all. This is like this is like a really tight space. And the cop in the front seat just goes, it's for bad guys.
Was that the first time you ever rode in the back of a cop car?
First and only,
first
thank
and
God.
Last, yeah?
Yeah, first and only, thank God. No, I got a talking to from the cops one time when I was in grade 8, but that's a whole nother story. Basically, okay, I'll be real quick with this one. These 6 kids who were in grade 10 and in the local high school came to my elementary school to beat up an 8th grader.
Oh no.
And they just showed up in the middle of a yard and we see them surround our friend and we're all like, well, there's like 30 of us. So run! We just beat up all these crates.
Nice. That's what you should do. Fuck you if you're coming to elementary school to beat up a little kid.
One more fireworks story.
Okay.
And this is why
Did you get lit up again?
Well, no, as the years passed, I couldn't get too mad at those kids. Well, I mean, they tried to hurt me. So that's different. That's fucked up. But in grade 7, we came up with the idea. We're like, let's have Roman candle fights. And so we basically played laser tag with Roman candles.
What is wrong with you people in Scarborough?
And so the next year, it was either the next year in grade 8 or like it was like a Victoria Day, Canada Day gap sort of thing, a couple months. We decided to next level it. It was me and my buddy Jose, and girls hung out with us, God knows why.
Because you're idiots.
And we would like give them rides places on our bike handles.
Oh, well, there you go.
Because, bikes.
Yeah. Super cool. Like an NERD video.
We came up with a brilliant idea to ride our bikes and have the girls hold the Roman candles.
Oh,
and we basically jousted with
Oh my God! You guys are idiots! Who gave you fire to play with?
I don't know, man.
And joust with?
I don't know. But the poor girl who was on my bike handles, her name was Nooper.
Ended well?
She, right in the middle of her forehead, dude. She got... And obviously we stopped playing then. But it bounced right off. Again, another bullet dodge. Like, luckily nothing happened. I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You are so close to
play
death.
with fireworks, you idiots.
Oh my God.
Forget death. Like, I could have lost an eye. Nooper could have lost an eye. My buddy Jose could have lost an eye. Who knows? He might have.
Any of the girls on the bike. And then you get sued because it's your bike and your candles, I assume.
Well, yeah.
And those parents are suing you, and your parents get involved, and it's a whole mess, and your entire life has changed.
And the guilt of hurting your friend. Or getting your friend hurt, or putting them in a dumb situation. Or you mugged someone.
You know?
Oh, that was the other thing. We obviously tell the police, we're like, so these guys tried to mug us, but they couldn't get the guy, because I didn't know who the guy was who lit me up. Mm-hmm. I could only point out a few of the other people who were there. They were like, well, did they just stand there? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, well, we can't do anything. And the worst we could do is ask them who it was, and they're not going to tell us. So I was like,
I feel like police don't want to get involved in these little kids' squabbles. You know? It feels like a parenting thing.
Well, yeah, but like there's also... Cops... There's also, like, they can't just be like, you were there, you're arrested.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so I think they've been through enough experiences where they go, okay, so here's how this is going to end. And it's going to end with nothing. So
moral of the story.
Yes.
Steve was an idiot from ages, I don't know, 8 to 26. And now you're okay.
Wait a sec. I was the victim in most of those stories.
No, Steve. You put yourself in these situations.
Wow!
Maybe if you were a little smarter, you wouldn't have gotten yourself almost mugged with Roman candles.
Wow!
I'm just saying, grow up a little, Steve.
I wanted to shoot some fireworks when I was 19, and instead,
grow up!
My jacket got burned. I should go pick that jacket up. I think it's still in evidence.
Do you still have the burned jacket?
No, I think it's in evidence.
Oh, in evidence? What?
Yeah.
Wow.
With the cops, they probably threw it.
You could pick up evidence? I don't know.
I mean, not after 9 years. Like, I'm sure it's gone.
Yeah.
But I gotta have pictures of that somewhere. I should ask SL. Oh man, the camera. I hope the camera was recording that whole story.
I think it just turned. It probably mixed like last minute or so. It's okay.
Oh my god. Yeah. So. Anyway, the reason I told those stories, one, they're kind of funny.
Oh my god.
Two, yeah, be careful with fireworks, man. Be careful, because I've used up 3 of my 9 lives.
A little bit more than that, I would say.
Oh my god.
Oh goodness.
Scarborough stories. And Adam wasn't there for any of those. So
okay, I was gonna say.
Didn't matter that he wasn't there. Holy fuck.
So we're down to 1 a week.
We are, yeah. So I guess the next one's not till next week.
Oh, it's kind of sad. I won't see you for another 7 days. I hope you don't get lit up.
Me too. Me too. Because now I worry. Because like Victoria Day or Memorial Day or whatever, you go, well, we'll save them for like the next big firework event. Now there's probably just all these leftover fireworks.
Some kid in Scarborough is running around with a little too many Roman candles, and he might run into Steve Dangle.
I hope they just keep it at Roman candles. Like,
yeah.
Like, no worse than that. Damn. Growing up,
man. Crazy things happen.
You never had anything like that, ever?
Not with fire, no.
Didn't have to be with fire.
No, I'm not that dumb. I gotta say.
Oh, whatever. Only the 14-year-old one was dumb. All right, are we going?
I think we're going. I think I gotta go to work.
All right, go to work. I can't wait for you to tell Blake how stupid.
Oh, this is the thing we're gonna talk about all day.
Do you need me on the radio to talk about it?
No, I don't think we're gonna do any call-ins today.
No call-ins at all?
No, it's just Blake on our own.
Are you just telling me that to get me to
No, it's just no Adam. We usually condense the show, so we just do like easier topics.
Adam.
You know?
It's very integral.
He's integral to every part of our lives.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go try to not get lit up.
Moral of the story. Give it to us. The more you know, what's the ending?
The less you don't know.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.